Todd Martin into net in a hurry.
Pete once again trying to go to the forehand side.
That's long.
3-1, Sampras.
3-1.
Pete really mixing things up well in the tiebreaker. Now he decides to serve and volley, comes in, split step at the service line and punches in, and now he makes no mistake, keeps moving in. Whenever you get that easy ball, don't let it drop. Get right on top of it and put it away.
Pete with a little
Lost his rubber shock absorber at the bottom of his net, replaced it.
4-1. Switch sides. Vitas, what are we seeing here? Is this a case of Sampras turning it up a notch, or Todd Martin realizing he has a chance to win the first set and maybe not swinging quite as freely?
Todd's played a pretty good tiebreaker set. Sampras mixing it up a little bit better. That last point, he was trying to keep the ball deep, flat, and hard. And the couple of previous points, he was looping his forehand a lot higher. So he's keeping Todd Martin on his toes, off balance right now. And there's just a lot more experience on Pete Sampras' side. Todd's played a pretty steady set. Good example of the ability Pete Sampras has with the same windup to hit the ball with a lot of touch, with a little bit of roll, and that time he just winds up with the same swing and can put a lot of extra pace on it, surprising Todd Martin at the net.
Todd Martin on the other side, kind of pounding his shoes. A little bit of frustration, I think. And an ace. Ace number 5, 109 miles an hour for Pete Sampras. He wins the tiebreak and the first set, 7-6. Tom Gullickson on the left with Michael Barkan. Tim Gullickson on the right. They're not speaking to each other, I understand, during this match. Let's go down to Michael Barkan. Michael?
That's because they're sitting on opposite ends of the stadium. We're doing it right now. I just want to know you're coaching sort of against your brother here. You're one of the coaches for Todd. And what do you need to do to beat him, so to speak?
Well, first I'd like to say Pete's a lot harder to beat than Tim. Tim, when he was playing, was much easier to beat than Pete. But you know, Todd had actually a lot more chances in the first set than Pete. He had 2 break points in the first 2 service games, and he just couldn't convert. And then in the tiebreaker, I think Todd got a little too safe, and he played a little too tentative. To beat a great player like Pete Sampras, you really have to be aggressive when you have your chances, and that's really the only difference in this match right now.
Where do you see it heading now, going into the second set here?
Well, I think it's important for Todd to get off to a good start and really reestablish himself in this match. You know, Pete really has more momentum coming out with a win in the tiebreaker, but Todd's got to play aggressive and really come at him hard.
All right, we're going to get your brother's rebuttal right now. He's with Cindy Schmerler. Cindy.
Thanks, Michael. Now, Tim, your brother Tom on the other side of the court just said that Pete Sampras is a lot harder to beat than you are. What do you have to say to that?
I think he's absolutely right. I think that Tom is, for once in his life, accurate.
Well, now, Tim, you've been taking some very copious notes throughout this match. You have to be happy with the way that Pete pulled out that first set tiebreaker. What are you telling yourself in those notes?
Well, I just try to look for keys to, basically what sets up the point in either the shot that wins it or loses it. I'm also looking for a lot of tendencies.
Well, what do you think Pete has to do at this point to more safely win this match?
I think he's got to start getting into Todd's service games a little bit more. He needs to pick up on the return a little bit, but I think it's his first match in the stadium, and he's just getting used to the conditions.
Well, is there anything you finally want to say to your brother before we send it back up to the booth?
Tell him that I'm glad I didn't have to talk to him, and we'll see him after the match.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Back up to you, Bill.
Thank you very much, and we'll interrupt Family Feud to bring you a little more tennis. Obviously, some good-natured ribbing from the Gullicksons, who are identical twins. There's Todd Martin, 30-15, serving to start the second set.
Oh, best point of the match. Todd shaking his head, cannot believe the gets that Pete Sampras made. Pete just running everything down, slices it back to the two-hander. Now here he just cracks a shot, and Todd cannot believe that it came back. Tried a desperation lasso forehand topspin volley, which the odds are very low if you're going to try a shot like that. But that's just frustration. Yeah, sure, Pete. You can play like that every point.
What do I have to do? 30 all.
Well, that's a lot more aggressive play from Pete Sampras. We didn't see him play a point like that in the whole first set.
30-40.
That's the type of tennis that he's capable of playing.
And a break opportunity, the first one of the match for Pete Sampras. That is the fifth double fault. Or fifth ace, rather.
A correction from the linesman. If the umpire felt that Pete Sampras had any chance to play that ball, they would play two. But Pete knew that he had no chance. It stands corrected as an ace.
And this is a fairly important game right here after losing the tiebreak. You don't want to start the second set down a break to Pete Sampras.
Game, Martin.
So Todd
First
Martin
game,
holds his serve to start set number 2. Gorgeous Saturday night here at the National Tennis Center. Just about 8 miles outside of Manhattan. And if you spent part of the holiday weekend outside, let's get you up to date. Jim Courier, a winner in 4 sets today against Cedric Pioline. John McEnroe, winner in straight sets. Courier and McEnroe will meet in the round of 16. And also today, Andre Agassi, straight sets over Jan Semmerink. And Agassi now in the round of 16. will go against the number 10 seed, Carlos Costa. Winner there plays the winner of Courier McEnroe.